Fellow Jaywalkers, lend me your ears. So, what are we going to talk about this morning that's going to help us keep plugged in, right? You know, uh, today I want to talk about routines, right? I'm undisciplined, so I let God discipline me. But one of the things that I have to realize too is my meeting schedule. What is my meeting schedule? I mean, if I'm not to a point where I know where I'm going, with the exception of things that happen and maybe a backup meeting, right? If I don't have a set routine, right, and I don't have meetings that I go to on a regular basis, like every week, my number is 3. I have to have 3 meetings. If I don't have 3 meetings, then I get into chaos. I'm not plugged in. I have trouble keeping my spiritual connection because I need 3 meetings. And everybody's number is different, man. If I could go 5, I go 7. Would it be better? Absolutely be better. But 3 works for me. 3 allows me to do. I try to keep 5 people that I try to sponsor 5 people. Over that, for me, it seems to be difficult. And knowing that, you're going to have people come and go. So my meeting number is 3. My sponsorship number is 5. That's where I like to try to stay. I have a sponsor. I think it's critical that I have a sponsor, and I think it's critical that I sponsor people. But also, if I want to get a good routine. Now, how did I start this? How did I start to pray and meditate? This is going to really sound, stupid in a sense, but, I never made my bed. I always made my mom do it, or my mom always did it. And I never took the responsibility to do that, and honestly thought it was beneath me. I really did. I thought it was beneath me to make my bed. What a dumbass. But that's what I thought. And one thing that I realized is that, I started to make my bed, and my deal was that I would pray and meditate in the morning, and as soon as I was done, I would make my bed. And I've gotten a set routine of doing that, and I still do that, because my theory is that if my bed was made, I probably wasn't going to drink that day, because it meant that I prayed and meditated. I mean, I can't guarantee you that, but that was my theory, and it's worked so far. Is that if I prayed and meditate, then I made my bed, which took, come on, what does it really take, 5 minutes? I mean, it really does. And I got into that discipline of being able to do that. And what I found out was my life became more balanced. Why? Because I was doing what I was told to do. And tomorrow what we're going to get into is one of my favorite parts in the book. And we'll do this every morning. It'll be a different deal. But we're only going to do 5 minutes. Because the reality of it is I got 5 minutes, right? I may not have 10, but I always got 5 minutes. So by getting that set routine and knowing where I'm going to go, I no longer allow myself, if I'm not in a set routine, what I'll do is, and I found this to be me, is what I'll do is, if I really want to go to a meeting, I really want to, man, there's a good show on. No, I just go. My reality of my life today is that I just go. There's no question about it. I don't question whether I'm going to go or not. I just go because it makes it easier for me. And then all of a sudden I get to know everybody at the meeting. And then all of a sudden I feel like I get to go. And all of a sudden, whether you want to call it tricking yourself or whatever you might think, the reality of it is all of a sudden I'm going to these meetings. I'm plugged in. I'm making my bed. And if I made my bed, it meant that I'm following the instructions in the book. And, the book is complete instructions, The book is a textbook. For me to learn how to find that power greater in myself, but also there's more to that. Then how do I use that power? How do I stay plugged into that power? And this is what this little morning exercise of the Jaywalker was all about, was that, I have to change my habits, and I have to change my friends, and I have to change things in my life. I personally do, not no one else but me. I have to change things in my life that are going to make this a better place for me to be, right? And if I don't stay plugged in, and I'm not using spiritual maintenance, right, and getting that on a daily basis, what I'm going to find out is I'm going to be living out on the edge again. And you know what? I don't want to live there anymore. At one time, I loved that. So tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is on awakening. What the hell does on awakening mean? Well, you just have to check tomorrow. We'll find out. On awakening.